From the Atlantic across the savannah to the Sahara, we rise, a land of the free, we know they tire. We dream great, our spirit is undying.
Resilient, rooted like palm tree, we swear in color, we stand guard in demand, we make solutions, we ignite passion, yeah. Education is unique, we have more than the solution.
We are Nigeria, we are Nigeria, strengthening unity, we know they carry lives. We are Nigeria, we are Nigeria, together live the dream of a land with great destiny. We are Nigeria.
I am the real Nigerian. Brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
Join the party on Afrosport TV as Libya's Mediterranean Knights host the Super Eagles at the Matazo Benania Stadium in the AFCON 2025 qualifiers on Tuesday, October 15th, 2024, live on Afrosport TV at 8 p.m. West African time for what promises to be an unforgettable encounter in the AFCON 2025 qualifiers. Afrosport, your freedom of sport.
Right, up next for us is newspaper review.
All right, many thanks for remaining with us. We've got Chukwudi Okolie-Agbaja with us now for the papers review. Good morning.
Yes, Chudi is here, and he is happy. Nyere, good morning.
Good morning,
Hello,
sir.
Victor.
Hello, Chukwudi.
You look like a good man today.
But I'm a good man.
Oh, my goodness.
Tell that to the birds. We'll see you guys.
Victor, that's a straight bullet. All right, let's see what the papers have while Victor tries to get back on his feet. The leadership leads with restore peace in rivers now. Tinubu orders IGP. That's on page 6. Says violence has no place in democracy. Arsonists set 3 local government secretariats ablaze. Police vacate council facilities. Above that, we have Edo Poll. We made donations to Kwebulu willingly. That's coming from APC reps. All right, you want to find out what that's about. Page 6 has that above the masthead. This is an interesting one. Victor and Chukwudi, pay attention. Men can have breast cancer too. That's according to experts.
We've always known.
Page 11.
They have proven cases.
Anyways, you pick up a copy of the leadership to see the cases that have been proven. Page 17 here says bandits abduct district head, 8 others in Kebbi. And some quick ones right here on the front page of the leadership. We have lawyers hampering anti-graft war. That's on page 12. NAFDAC workers begin strike over welfare promotion. That's on page 7. Finally, this morning, you can read up parliamentary staff protest over 3 billion naira union fund. That's on page 16 of the leadership. Let's see what the New Telegraph has this morning. New Telegraph leads with the crisis in rivers. You can't win all fights. Let go of rivers. We need peace. Fubara tells Wike. Details on pages 2 and 28. De-escalate tension in the state. Tinubu tells governor and stakeholders. Away from that, FG designates Air Peace Caboton to Brazil as both nations initiate direct flight operations. Interesting. And we have INEC should re-examine police deployments during elections. That's according to Clark. You can read that up on page 3. Be transparent about 30 trillion naira debt clearance. PRP tells Tinubu, urges National Assembly to probe debt swap. Okay, that's on page 28. You want to find out what that's about. Edo Guba petition, APC INEC obstructing course of justice. PDP alleges releases timetable for 2025 zonal congresses. Details on pages 3 and 6. Beside the picture story this morning, we have Tinubu to judiciary. We can't win anti-graft war with technicalities, frivolous appeals. Abbas urges judges to prosecute all corrupt people. And finally this morning, on the front page of the New Telegraph, Nigeria has recorded 54 new suspected Mpox cases, according to the NSCDC. Victor.
All right. I have here the Daily Sun looking rebranded here. And it leads with this major headline, Wild, Wild Rivers. 5 feared killed. Hoodlums raise 3 LGA officers. PDP governors reaffirm support for Fubara. INEC calls for presidential attention on states politics. Bode George writes Tinubu urges him to call Wike to order. That's the major story, and it's on page 6. And above that story, don't give our salary to LGs, unions tell FG. Demand funds be made first line charge on FARC. Interesting. And beside the nameplate, marketers to finalize petrol price. Evacuation modalities with Dangote refinery. Full downstream deregulation begins. That story is on page 25. And on the left strip here, where you have the rest of the story, alleged money laundering. Court shifts EFCC's case against Obiano to November 13. Page 4. Governor Dodo approves 72,500 naira as minimum wage for workers. That story is on page 8. Gives workers 1-year tax relief. And PDP releases timetable for zonal congresses, page 26. 18,541 Lagosians suffering from tuberculosis. Sanwo-Olu's wife raises alarm. And finally, anti-graft war. Recovered funds invested in Nelfund Credit Corps. Tinubu, page 5. Chukode.
Let me quickly look at nature here before we go to the real feud this morning. 40 fishermen kill killer hippopotamus in Kebbi. I would have said, we on this patch of earth quickly rush to kill whales and hippopotamuses that we see on our shores. Across, over there, they will tell you, ferry them back to sea. But they say this one is a killer hippopotamus.
I was going to point that out.
Yeah, so maybe it's justified. Otherwise, the sight of people hacking away on a whale and he's blinking his eyes, it doesn't die till you get to the bowels. It's somehow, you understand? That's where I was going. Okay, killer hippopotamus. That word is always a hippopotamus. I don't know what the stress is.
You know, when we are growing up, it's HIP for the hippopotamus.
Yes.
Okay.
But away now to rivers where the action is. You see, my people have a proverb. If pikin too sabi cry, then not they carry dead body pass am. One of the signs of great wisdom, I tell those who care to listen, is knowing when to appear foolish. Not that you are foolish, but because you want the environment to thrive, because it's greater than you, you pretend you do not know. When people show their sense all the time, calamity knocks on their door. I don't know what to tell Rivers people. President Ahmed Bola Tinubu has already said what should be said. If you're aggrieved, do what? Go to court. How can we not have real violence on the day of the local government polls?
And then afterwards,
you
begin to raise.
So somebody's aggrieved over how things went and all that. Go to court if you have any problems. Do you know that Rivers State is gradually becoming the sick man of Nigeria? you know, which country was that? Was it Turkey in those days? The Ottoman Empire, the sick man of Europe. You know, my ancient history.
But this is of Nigeria.
My ancient history. I'm beginning to forget it, you know. So we have to be careful over what is happening in rivers. The FCT minister has not spoken up. But Fubara is saying here, you can't win all your fights. That's what he's telling Wiki. That is his opinion. Give peace a chance. That is his opinion. Till we hear from the other side, we can only call it his opinion. But at the end of the day, is the common denominator of peace we are looking for. That is my own little take on what is happening in rivers. Democracy is being threatened in Nigeria because rivers is crying and bleeding at the same time. It's a shame. A very big shame.
It's a shame. And the Sun aptly captions it, Wild, Wild Rivers. Reminds me of the Wild, Wild West.
Wild, wild rivers indeed. I like good captions when editors are at their best. We are sounding the alarm now. Wild, wild rivers means, Mr. President, lawmakers at the national level, maybe it is time for you to wade into the rivers crisis. You know, I'm not a politician. I don't think I'm ever going to become one. I don't have the texture of it. But having said that, do you know that I suspect that at the end of the day, even if you take a case to court concerning rivers, those wonderful men in wig are going to give a political decision. There's a difference between justice and political decisions sometimes. When a judge looks at a matter, he could tell you, now you win. Victor, now you win. Now go back home and settle your problem. That is where rivers is headed. If anybody thinks they're going to go to court and somebody says, you have done this, you've done that, go and take, it's not going to work. I'm not a lawyer, but I sense certain things naturally, and they happen.
At this point, I'll caption your last statement, alleged suspicion of Chukwudi Okoli-Ubaja.
It's okay. It's because I started by throwing, tantrums at you. You're having your own back on me. It's natural.
All right, rivers, wild, wild. Kogi, jubilation. Workers to get 72,500 naira minimum wage.
Look at life. Look at that. Rivers, wild, wild what? Then Kogi what? You know, it was Celestine Oku and his Philosophers International. Ijenu, ndi nakwa nakwa, nandi languli nangulio. Walk of life. Some people are mourning, while some people are jubilating. One man's meat is another man's poison.
Sunday Wendy.
You know, Sunday Wendy. Life is, I wish people could recline on their seats and think. Nigerians worry most of the time. They don't think. Many Nigerians, please, let's not abuse those who are more intelligent than us and more philosophical. But many of us worry rather than think. And I have been advocating for a long time now that we go to the school curriculum and deliberately introduce thinking as a subject in Nigeria. I know what I'm talking about.
You know, one thing that comes to mind, when I saw the 72,500, while it's a good thing, no doubt, it reminds me of the Arsene Wenger era at Arsenal when he wanted Luis Suarez. And then they said, well, the release clause puts Suarez at 40 million pounds. And he said, okay, that you could buy him for anything above 40 million pounds. And he said, okay, 40 million plus one pound. And the guys at Anfield said, what are they smoking at the Emirates?
I'm a ladies man. I feel that women and children are underreported in